You know, the other day when you mentioned mental health,
Yeah.
what have you been taught about mental health in school? Because I'm assuming that came from school.
We did mental health week, I think.
Oh, did you?
I didn't know that one.
No, you didn't tell me. But there's a difference between mental health and mental resilience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like mental resilience, isn't it? Where you like things of like trying to get a setback and trying to do it, and then
you've just got to keep going.
And getting a setback and just quitting that.
So you don't want to quit though, because that's a lack of mental resilience, and that's not mental health. They're two.
I had a bit of a lack of mental resilience there, didn't I? I had quite a big lack.
No, I think you're much more mentally resilient than you realise, mister. I think you're a lot tougher than we've all realised. Because I know that you're sad. Well, you say that you're sad, but you're not sad all the time. I know that when we talk about Cornwall...
I miss Cornwall and I want to go back there.
I miss Cornwall as well, mister, and I want to go back there. And it's things happen in life that you have to say goodbye to.
Yeah.
And you end up missing them, and that's a normal part of life. What's bad is when you don't carry on, you don't keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Do you mean it's
so like we're here now, we're in Newcastle. So what would be bad is if you just sat around feeling sad all the time because we're not in Cornwall, and you didn't try and become a multi-billionaire. I'm quite sad about the fact that we've left Cornwall. I really, really miss it because it was the nicest place that I've ever lived. And I've moved around a lot as well, and I really felt at home in Cornwall. But we're back, and I have to just keep going. Even though I feel sad sometimes, I have to just keep going because I've got to sort out a new job. We've got this new house.
You're going to have 2 jobs.
Yeah, I'm going to have 2 jobs. We've got this new house. I've got some other projects that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So you have to just... That's called mental resilience, when you have to just keep going and keep working towards what it is that you want to get to. Do you like our house?
Yeah, I like it. It's not the house for me. I like bungalows and that.
Yeah.
There's one thing I really hate about our TV in your bedroom. I have to point the remote. It requires me to point the remote at the TV. Where with the old TV, I didn't even need to have it near the TV. I could just go like...
Yeah. You're writing a novel?
Yeah, I'm writing a novel.
What's your novel about?
It's about my friend who's been a kind of like lost in the jungle in a plane crash, and he has to try and survive, and he's an archaeologist.
Oh, okay. Sounds like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, you ran into a lot of problems. So we nearly got crushed by that.
What else do you like about being up here? Seen any?
Yeah, I mean, we're only like 20 minutes or something away from it. But before we had a 9 hours distance.
To see anybody. It took hours and hours and hours and hours. So what else do you want to do while we're here? We've got MMA coming.
Oh yeah, MMA.
You're going to do MMA? Are you enjoying all of that?
Yeah, I can't wait to do MMA, scouts and boxing.
Yeah, we were right down the bottom.
I mean,
we were near the palm trees.
Yeah.
I miss the palm trees.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we should buy a fake one and put one in our farm.
Fake palm tree.
Yeah, that'll at least give us something from... Maybe we should buy one from Corn and put it in there, like a greenhouse over it so the sun raises in, and make sure it's nice and heated in that greenhouse.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about on our podcast, mister? Do you think you're mentally resilient? Because I do. I think you're tougher than what we all realise. I think without you realising, you have to be very tough and brave to be able to do what you've done, which is move around quite a bit. Because of my job, we've moved.
I mean, Florence hasn't really experienced it as much as me because she was
Florence has only moved while I was in twice, maybe, or like even when we moved before, she was so young that she can't remember it. Was you was old enough to remember when we moved from Cornwall to Titchfield? Was it we moved to?
Yeah, Titchfield. I remember that was actually then I saw Flambards. We were just driving past.
Yeah.
So Flambards, and that was like the last time in ages since I've seen Flambards. Luckily, I've been able to go to it a few more times.
Yeah, you love Flambards, don't you?
Yeah.
What questions you got?
How did you go homeless when you were a teenager?
What do you mean go homeless? How did I become homeless?
Yeah.
I had to leave my house when I was, I think, just before I was 16. I got told I had to leave my house.
By your mum?
Yeah.
Why did she do that?
She had a lot of problems herself.
And did she think you needed to leave?
Yeah.
And you went homeless and... Do you think we would...
Do you know what homeless is?
Yeah, where you don't have a home. And
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of your life, you're on the streets.
Not always on the streets. No, you don't have to be living on the streets to be homeless, mister. You can just be staying at your friend's house on their floor or on their settee. You can be staying in a hostel.
But I mean, wasn't it that you had to find places to sleep for most of the time you were homeless?
Yeah.
What places did you find where you could sleep?
Oh, I slept at lots of my friends' houses all the time.
Do you mean...
Like Nassie?
So do you mean you had to sleep with them a lot of the time?
Yeah, Nassie. I always used to stay at Nassie's house.
Was it the only place you kind of had for a home?
No, not the only place. But I stayed at Nassie's house quite a lot growing up. That's why me and Nassie's family is so close. Because Nassie was my best friend from when I was in school.
So
that's another thing, though. You know, when I moved up here, up here is where I made my best friends. And even though I've moved all over the country since, it's still here that all of my best friends live.
Okay.
So, you know, you will make friends up here. You're 9 at the moment.
Yeah.
But you'll make your best friends up here.
Didn't mommy say I'm getting to the age where I'll make my friends for life?
Yeah. This is what happens now. You're getting to the age where the friends that you start making, usually from about 10, 11 years on, 10, 11 years old onwards, they usually, some of those become your best friends for life. And that's who you'll become really close to.
Yeah.
And then, it was a lot of those friends let me stay at their house when I was homeless.
Yeah, like me and Harris were really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're very good friends.
But you've made friends with people on the street? Down at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions?
How long were you on the streets for?
On the streets or homeless?
Homeless.
Homeless, on and off for about 10 years. Maybe a bit longer, actually. I think there's a bit that I forget about that was still quite bad from after my mummy died until I joined the Navy. So although I wasn't like homeless, It was still very stressful. I was still always... Me and mummy moved about a lot.
Do you mean technically you had a home still? But...
Well, we'd find places to stay, but we didn't really have a home. We didn't start getting homes, places where we felt at home, until I joined the Navy. That was a big thing about joining the Navy for us.
I mean, with you and your mum, why did it?
Oh, with me and my mummy?
Yeah.
What did you want to know about me and my mummy?
What was the house when your mum made you leave?
Yeah.
Your home.
Mm-hmm.
Was that home technically still your home?
It's a tricky one because I was never made to feel like that was my home. I was always made to feel like I was living in my mum's home. Does that make sense? I was always made to feel like I was a guest there. So it's like, this is your home, but if I was constantly telling you you're living in my house, you might stop feeling like this is your home.
So that's why you kind of left. Is that one reason?
It's one of the reasons. Yeah. Anything else you want to know about me?
Were there any how long were you on the streets for? Did you have anywhere to stay?
Over the space of 10 years, about a year and a half. You know my friend Earl?
Yeah.
He lived on the street for 18 years.
God, so...
He lived literally on the street. You know, like you see when we walk through the city centre, you sometimes see people asleep in doorways and things.
Yeah.
That's how homeless Earl was for almost 20 years, 18 years.
So... he's lucky he has a home now.
He's very lucky he has a home. We're all lucky we've got homes. But yeah, Earl, not just lucky as well, he works really hard to get to where he got to, where he is now. And now he works down at the North East Homeless Hub. Do you want to give a shout out to North East Homeless Hub?
North East Homeless Hub, go there! Maybe you'll meet me and my daddy's friend out.
Yeah. Any other questions about that?
Do you how did like your mum die? What was the reason I've never met her? Like,
What, my mummy?
yeah.
Do you not know?
No, I don't know how she's died.
Oh, my mummy, she killed herself, unfortunately.
For what reason?
She was just she wasn't well. You know how we were talking about mental health?
Yeah.
So my mummy had some mental health problems.
You said she had mental health issues.
She had some mental health issues, and then when she was younger than me, she committed suicide. And do you know what that means?
Yeah, killed herself. So how did she do it? She jump off something?
No. You don't need to know that, so we'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what happened with my mummy.
So, do you think we would ever meet your dad, my granddad too? Because
what, my real dad?
Yeah.
You were asking about this yesterday. No, Mister, we are never going to meet my. We are never going to meet my.
Do you think he would never want to meet you?
No, Mister, he doesn't, and it was a long, long time ago as well. So I don't really want to meet him because
a long, long time ago you met him.
Well, no, I've never met him, but I'm 45 years old now,
and
I don't need a daddy. I'm a daddy now. That's my main job in life is being your and Florence's daddy. That's it. That's my main role in life now.
And he didn't really do his main role.
No, so that's exactly. He didn't do his main role. He chose not to do that main role for whatever reason. You know, he was only young. He was only a teenager himself
when that happened.
When my mummy, when him and my mummy, like created me in my mummy's belly.
What age was he?
He was like 16.
So he was under the age meant to be like 18 years old.
16 or above.
Ah. Yeah. So he's at the minimum age.
Yeah. My mummy was, really. I think they had me when they just turned 17. So it was all very. And also, the other thing that you won't realise is that back then, my daddy was Indian.
Oh yeah, you said that.
So you know that my mummy was white.
Yeah.
You know how like a lot of my family are white. Well, all of the family that you meet of mine are all white, except me, Uncle Andy, Auntie Louise. They're both black.
And didn't you say it was that? Well, your dad was completely brown.
Yeah.
Indian, and your mum was completely English.
Yeah, which back then that wasn't. People thought that was a really bad thing to happen if people of different colours got together and had babies. So that would have been a big part of why my dad ran away, really, and decided not to be a daddy. But that's why when you ask me whether we're going to meet my daddy, we're not going to meet my daddy because he decided that he doesn't want to be my daddy, and that's fine.
And do you think he'll decide he doesn't want to be my granddad?
Yeah, because he won't know that you exist. So... he doesn't know anything about me, and I don't really know anything about him.
And he doesn't know anything about me, and I don't know anything about him.
But that's okay. You've got people like Uncle Andy.
Yeah.
Maybe. You've got Nanny Joss. You've got Nanny Sue. You've got Mum. You've got Nanny, as in Newcastle Nanny, Mummy's mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't worry about that.
Maybe
my job is to be your dad.
I'm thinking now. When I grow up, maybe I might just be able to meet him, or he just says, "What would you think he would do? He would want to say hello to me, or to say leave."
Oh, who knows, Mister?
I mean, we don't know anything about him.
Don't know anything about him at all. He might be dead. Who knows?
You said he.
Well, I mean, he's not the age that he should be dead. He'd only be young. He'd only be about 62, 63 now.
So,
but who knows? Right, are we done?
Yeah, I'd say we're done. We've been recording for 9 minutes.
You got any more questions? No.
No.
No. Right.
I've enjoyed this podcast.
You've enjoyed this podcast. I've enjoyed talking to you, Mister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you feeling happy?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this podcast.
You feeling good about the future?
I guess this is like me feeling good and me not feeling good. I'm like both.
Yeah, that's normal as well, Mister.
Like both, it's like wobbling in between.
Yeah.
I don't feel happy and I don't feel good.
But you mean you don't feel happy and you don't feel sad?
I don't feel happy about what future has to bring in here. But then I also feel good about what future has to bring here. It's both. I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle.
Of it.
Well, that's not a bad place to be, mister.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.